They told him his blade was useless, that this era was no place for swordsmanship, that he'd die if he stepped on the battlefield. They were wrong, because even in a world of kaiju, there's always room for someone who knows where to cut. Imagine being told your entire life that the thing you're best at, the thing you've trained for, has no place in the modern world. That's what Hoshina Soshiro endured, and despite being arguably the greatest swordsman of his time, everyone told him, it's useless. Put the blade down. Hoshina is the vice captain of the defense force of the 3rd Division in Kaiju No. 8, and one of the series' most disciplined, dangerous, and underappreciated characters. But behind his precision and smiles is a man who was nearly left behind by the world, and proved he still had a place in it. We first meet Hoshina as early as Chapter 4, overseeing the final stage of the Defense Force exams. Calm, approachable, but quick to observe. He takes a quiet interest in Kafka Hibino, and even vouches for him despite Kafka's failing marks, pointing out his combat excellence and notably that he's hilarious. But Hoshina isn't just there to make Kafka feel welcome. He's also one of the few who notices Kafka's vitals data mysteriously disappearing during battle. From the start, he's sharp, focused, and suspicious of Kafka's deeper secrets. Through the missions that follow, including his clash with Kaiju No. 8 and later with Kaiju No. 10, Hoshina becomes one of the central human fighters standing between Japan and total collapse. At first glance, Hoshina is lighthearted and easygoing, but underneath, he's deeply dedicated, tactical, and self-aware. He isn't obsessed with power. He's obsessed with doing his part, even if the world keeps telling him his part is no longer needed. He's respectful, quick-witted, and willing to give people chances, as he did with Kafka. But he holds his position as vice captain with quiet intensity. His fighting style is graceful and deadly, like a relic of an older age, which is exactly what people have accused him of being. Hoshina's core motivation is deeply personal, proving that swordsmanship still matters. From a young age, he was told he was born in the wrong era, that his mastery of the blade would be useless in a world dominated by firearms and giant kaiju. Even high-ranking officers told him he'd never last on the battlefield. But Mina Ashiro saw something others didn't. She didn't ask him to change. She asked him to clear the way. And Hoshina dedicated himself to that purpose, to become the sword that cuts open a path for the gun to strike. Mina Ashiro, captain of the 3rd Division, the one person who believed in him. She offered not just a position, but a purpose. Hoshina doesn't serve her out of duty. He fights for her vision. Kafka Hibino, the relationship is layered. Part rivalry, part mentorship. Hoshina both challenges and protects Kafka, treating him seriously as a future asset, and maybe even a successor. His relationship with Kikoru Shinomiya. In battle, Hoshina works in tandem with her, cutting down enemies and buying time, showing the next generation how sword and willpower can still turn tides. His strength and abilities. Hoshina's fighting strength lies in his blade and his combat suit synchronization. He regularly unleashes at 92% of his combat suit. That's his top release rate up until the end of season 1. His technique, especially the eightfold slasher, can tear through most kaiju with speed and elegance. But his major limitation is size. He excels against miniature and mid-sized kaiju, but struggles against giant class threats like Kaiju number 10 when he decided to go for the crash out. That doesn't stop him from standing his ground, even when overheated, broken, or outclassed. His character growth and development. Hoshina's growth is more internal than external. He doesn't become stronger by changing who he is. He becomes more powerful by leaning into it. His major turning point comes during the battle with Kaiju number 10. Despite reaching his physical limits, despite Kaiju number 10 gigantifying and gaining a fortitude of 9.0, Hoshina keeps going. Even with his suit overheating and his output reduced to 63%, he doesn't stop cutting. Why? Because cutting is what he was born to do. That's his identity. That's his proof. Hoshina represents honor in a changing world. He is the blade in the gunpowder era, the ancient art that still has value when wielded with purpose. His swordsmanship stands as a metaphor for forgotten skills and traditions. His loyalty to Mina and protection of Kafka embody the passing of torches between eras. His contrast with Kafka, someone who stopped trying, then started again, highlights persistence in the face of irrelevance. Within the story, Hoshina is a quiet pillar and a protector of the new while holding on to the old. Isn't that deep? Among fans, he's a favorite for his humility, humor, and god-tier technique. He may not have kaiju powers, but he's more than held his own against them, earning even Kaiju number 10's respect. He doesn't demand the spotlight, but he steals it anyways. That's for damn sure. Hoshina is arguably my favorite character of Kaiju number 8. If you'd been born in the Edo period, you'd be a prodigy. That's what Hoshina heard growing up. But he didn't need another era. He just needed someone to say, "I need your sword." And that someone was Mina, overpowered and still swinging, as proof that the blade still has meaning. Not every hero glows, some just cut over and over until the path is clear. If you like this video, make sure to check out the next one up top to your left.